Call to order. Adoption of agenda.
Move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Adoption of minutes.
Council adopted minutes from the regular council meeting held on April 18, 2018 as presented.
Can I get a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Introduction of late items, public hearing none, delegation none, unfinished business and business arising from the minutes.
7.1. Council adopt policy 8.3 council expenses as presented.
Second. All in favor? Or any discussion? Sure. Colleen?
So this is what we're talking about, this one, expenses?
Yeah.
This is per diem?
Well, that's an example.
Chris?
Yeah, thank you, Richard. That's the sheet you were referring to at the last meeting, Councilor. I was dealing with the other museums that we put together
Okay.
a few months ago. That was just for information.
You requested
But
it.
per diems is part of it, of this.
Yeah, per diems
Right.
are listed in the policy, but I just brought that back again to make sure you guys had the examples we were presenting from the other communities for comparison.
Right. So in the per diem part of our policy here, did we change the wording? Because it doesn't say in here that you have to take the meals out, as you guys were saying. It doesn't say anything about the removing meals cost and stuff like that from the per diem.
It says,
Where,
On the, no, Councilor, that one wouldn't. That was just a comparison done by Adam just on the dollar values. We didn't actually put everybody's per diem policy in
that's
there.
what we're asking.
We put that language that you were just mentioning in ours. So on page 16, 13D.
If the advance registration includes meals or the village arranges and pays for meals in advance, the actual cost of the meals or the assumed cost as outlined on the expense sheet will be deducted from the per diem.
okay, the banquet there.
Yeah, and it's covered all banquets, capitalist. So all in favor? New business 8.1 recommendation.
Recommend the council receive draft policy 3.7, sale of village assets as information.
All second. Any discussion? All in favor? 8.3 recommendation.
Council approved the draft financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2017.
Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Number 9, correspondence. And those ones, Chris, do you remember?
Yeah, thank you, Worship. The ones here we were talking about prior to the meeting were on pages 80 and then 87. 9.9 and 9.12.
Council received email from the Office of the Premier as information. So I recommend that we need to write a letter to Horgan discussing the fact that the gas prices are outrageous and that our meals, our groceries and things are gonna be outlandish and people won't be able to eat. So I'm asking council to approve that letter.
You see the, like, approve after it was written?
Yeah, but to say that, you know, with the gas prices and.
Prices are gonna go up.
Yeah, prices are gonna go up and we're gonna have more homeless people and so on and so forth. And then the other one was,
Are we
making a
sorry.
motion. All in favor? I'll make a motion to
Yeah,
have that
motion to
letter.
that effect.
Letter.
Yeah, to draft the letter.
Can I have a seconder?
And can I have a
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
All in favor? And then the other one is the employer health tax. So as it sits, the village will be paying 1.9% once the BC medical premium plans will be abolished. So can we write a letter on that to Carol James Park?
And also in 2019, they gotta pay 50% of the medical service plan, plus the new, you know, companies are getting hit both ways.
Can I have a motion for that?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Worship, can I bring up something?
Sure.
9.3, in regards to council, receive a letter from District of Houston as information. You go on the table or can I just pop on it?
Yeah.
So basically, I'd like to support this in the sense that I see the letter that was written from the District of Houston. I'd like to send a similar letter from our council for our village because I really believe that we need to support the human trafficking task force that the BC government is going to be setting up or whatever is going to happen here. It's being sent to Minister to Premier Horgan. So if you read that letter from the District of Houston, it's well done, and I think a similar letter should be sent.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Any other ones? So, number 10, resolutions, none. Bylaws, 11.1 recommendation.
Council give first reading to bylaw number 1006, 2018 financial plan, 2018-2022.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Chris?
Yeah, thank you, Worship. Just two items that have changed since the printing of the agenda to bring to council's attention. Number one, I was contacted by the president of the Museum Foundation, or the museum, letting us know that they would need an extra $5,000 this year. They were declined for some of their summer student grant application again. So the amount that's in there right now is 47. I didn't change it obviously in here, it had already gone to print, but just so council's aware, there's likely going to be, it's going to be over that amount. And then lastly is the library, old library floor. I've got the quotes back from that, and it's about $700 more before tax than what council had approved on the capital project sheet. So if you guys are okay with that, we're good to go.
All in favor? Okay. Recommendation?
Council gives second reading to bylaw number 1006, 2018 financial plan, 2018-2022.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Recommendation?
Recommend the council gives third reading to bylaw number 1006, 2018 financial plan, 2018 to 2022.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? 11.2, recommendation.
Council give first reading to bylaw number 1007, 2018 tax rate 2018.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Recommendation?
Council gives second reading to bylaw number 1007, 2018, tax rates 2018.
Can I get a seconder? Did you see that, Sandy? Any discussion? All in favor? Recommendation?
Recommend the council gives a third reading to bylaw number 1007, 2018 tax rates 2018.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Number 12, administration reports. Mr. Chris, you're up.
Thank you, your worship. This, I may actually have the longest part of this meeting. Canada Day, we covered off, and just for purposes of record keeping, we've agreed we're not going to do candy here at Canada Day. On the business front, we've launched the operator position for Public Works, so that is out there. We've had a few resumes trickle in. We'll see how that goes. Spoke with Mr. Peterson about Canada Day, and so he's lined up as our second band as well here. He'll be playing second this year because Dump Truck only got to play a short set last year due to the the weather, he says he's got no problem with that. Received a phone call today from Richard Bader with the ministry. He'd done the gas rights presentation to council a little while ago. Just wanted to know if you guys had any last concerns with the presentation or the gas rights sale. He sent me some information, just distances and stuff like that. Basically repeated what he said in the presentation, so.
Barb?
At this point, are they gonna listen to, if we have any questions?
They have to. There is a consultation piece that's built into it. So depending on what they intend to do within those distances, Councillor Smith, they do have to reach out to us and obtain consultation. That's right in the literature.
Because I didn't feel that they came back to us to tell us setbacks, that kind of stuff.
I just don't want Farmington that close to Coops Street. Like, I just don't want that.
Yeah, and I think that would, we'd have a large amount of discretion with that too. I don't think that would be good public policy for, another gas company either. But, not knowing what anybody plans to do out there, and considering it's just a right sale at this point.
Yeah, they don't want to tell us what their plans are, but we need to know how far away from the school, how far from our boundaries.
That's gonna be after they purchase it.
Yeah,
We can't do anything right now.
yeah, those conversations.
So whoever purchases it has to come back to us?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, that's,
Or we were children, if necessary.
Yeah, and I'd imagine once we got that something is gonna happen, we want to be proactive about it as well, so. Okay, so with that in mind, then I'd like to send an email back to Richard just saying, good to go as.
Good to go, but we'd like to know who actually ends up purchasing it.
Okay.
We'll have the open conversation.
And then.
Make sure that they're aware of it.
Okay. Okay, Sandy, can you go back down, keep going? Skate park open house. I've been speaking with Aaron from the Canadian Ramp Company. He sent me a few preliminary designs. They look good. We're still good to go for a public information session on May 10th. You guys are going to be away for that, but this is really just a grab info or comment from members of the public as to how they might like the park to look. So.
Well, Colleen and Ray will still be here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Are
you hosting it,
I do have a meeting on the 10th in the museum now.
Okay, this will likely be after hours. We're thinking shortly after school closes, and we're gonna post a notice there for a few days and then probably send something to the elementary school.
and Central and South Peace.
May 10th, when?
Haven't nailed down the time exactly yet. It's gonna be probably somewhere starting between 3 and 4 and going till about 6.
So that'll also be posted on the website
Yeah.
and everything. Okay.
Can you let me know?
Yeah.
Ahead of time? Barb, do you have a question?
I just said that if they're going to contact the elementary school, they should Central and South Peace. Because a lot of those kids on the skateboard park behind Central are older kids, they're not elementary kids.
There are also kids that live out of town that get parents drop them off there to go buy groceries and stuff, right?
So we're saying, sorry, then those two other schools are Dawson Creek schools?
South Peace, Central.
South Peace.
And middle school and high school.
Okay. Yeah, library floor quotes, mentioned a moment ago. Met with Marcia from the Dawson Creek Art Gallery. She'll probably be doing something at Canada Day for an art presence here this year. Drafted a social media request at the request of Mayor McKetty, and it was a notice that we're going to be looking a little bit closer at unsightly premises and stuff here this year, derelict vehicles, that type of thing. We are also planning on doing a mail drop for that in the next little bit. Saw a great Facebook post about our success with the ditch clearing activity here this year, so it was nice to see some positive feedback from the community that had the desired effect. So we did see some comments that there was some gravel left over, because what we did this year was basically stick the bucket of the backhoe into the ditch and then just scoop it up and in behind into our right of way. It caught some of the gravel. We didn't really foresee that happening, so we already purchased a second sweeper unit. The summer students are out there sweeping lawns here as we speak to keep those folks happy. So we're not doing the entire town, just where we ditch and stuff. So I have to make a correction in the number that was in my CFO report from Sunday. I mentioned to council that we were $368,000 below budget. That was actually not factually correct. We were $368,000 difference between revenue and expenses. we were 174,000 below budget, so just to correct that number.
Still, that's good.
Yeah, and if you guys have any further questions, the auditors are gonna be coming back to present those financial statements. I'll line that date up with them.
Bart?
Will that number change when we adjust for the old library floor and the museum?
Nope, that will be accounted for in the 2018. Yeah, those numbers are essentially etched in stone now. That's after the auditors have done all of their adjusting entries. There was a significant amount of adjusting entries this year. They pulled a lot of money out from operating accounts into the capital project side, which ended up changing. Because I reported to you guys, my initial calculations were about 150,000 below budget, so we finished the year even a little bit better than that. This year we plan on not creating that kind of scenario, so everything that's in the capital and special project list that you guys have asked for in the agendas, we're creating individual GLs for them now. So we won't find capital items inside the operating GLs, so number one, easier for us to track, easier for me to report back to you guys, and then the auditors don't have to do all of those adjusting entries at the end of the year, so, yeah, pretty big, it's an easy process, but that'll yield some noticeable results at the end of the year.
Did we not discuss with Jaren though, that on the 16th, that he was,
We said, yeah, there was some tentative dates.
I think it was the 16th, because that was
The
our
next,
next.
yeah, we were talking next council meeting or at Ocean, so let's look forward, yeah, I'll confirm that date with them. Looks like the roofs are gonna get started on the various buildings here pretty quick. Last time I spoke to the guy from CW Exteriors there, Carl, he said the beginning of May. Obviously with the weather out there right now, not best to do roofs, but if I haven't heard from him by Friday, I'll be following up with him. We have a full complement of summer students here now, all hired, and there's one that's only worked one day, I think, eh, Sandy?
No,
No?
we've
They've
got
all-
one starting tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Last one starts tomorrow.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, we have all ladies, so nice to see. Candy again. Met with Al Cameron a couple of weeks ago to discuss the fireworks here for this year's Canada Day 2. This was after we'd all had that discussion about moving it up to the water tower area. He was totally in support of that. So that was sort of the last piece we needed to make that change here for this year. Everybody feels that'll be a lot better. Fireworks, we won't
We
be.
get some way up.
Yeah, we'll get them way up there.
And you see
so-
off your deck and watch it.
Yeah, and that way residents can actually make their way to the former area and view it a little bit better without the safety hazard there. So the plan is to do them in behind the water towers on our vacant lot, and then we'll block off the street once Al's up there and the fire department's up there, so nobody will be in the vicinity of the fireworks. It'll be as safe as we can make it, and we think a much better fireworks presentation too. So he's pretty excited about that.
What about, him talking about him looking after the rest of the kids?
We spoke about that, Your Worship, and I told him, he said he might be interested, and I said once the budget's approved, which approved that position formally, I let him know that it was out there, and he said he'd apply if it was something he was interested in at that point.
Okay.
That's it for me.
You're all done? So it's counselors, action. No, counselors. Action. Oh, yeah, action.
Sorry, Your Worship, there was one more that I forgot.
Okay.
Christmas tree. I mentioned to you guys that we were looking at doing something a little more long-term with our Christmas tree as opposed to trying to put one up there. Blair's found a tree. It was a local resident that wanted to donate it. So we've already started taking the flower bed here out. The plan is to put the tree pretty much right where that flower bed is. And then that way we've got a nice live growing Christmas tree moving forward, so. And, oh yeah, Sandy's just reminded me the barriers are set to go up in May, or May 11th, I should say, over on 15th.
Okay, so the action
What is the block date for?
next week. But when they go in, Chris, you're gonna go over to Upton and talk
I
to
will,
him?
yeah, I'll have a chat with him personally.
So the action plans. Anybody seen it? We only have 2 things on the go.
We're good.
two things.
We've got letters
Two
now.
things outstanding, yeah, we
I've got things to add now.
Does anybody have anything else to add to it besides the letters? No? Okay, so then we can move to our calendar.
And you can all see that I'm gonna be gone most of the
Are we
time.
doing special council calendar,
Special projects.
special projects?
I thought we did that.
No,
Oh,
we're
that's on the next,
Next
oh,
one.
that's right, the next page.
I was looking at the wrong.
Okay.
12.3. So we got the skate park.
I'll have that one.
So we have a grant for the library for it.
Yes, we do.
So even though we have budgeted, we won't be using the money we budgeted for it?
We will, but we're required to display both revenue and expenses, Councilor Lewis.
Yeah.
Even though there's a grant coming, we don't just net the two out. We've got to show the expense on the expense side and the grant.
Oh,
revenue
okay.
over on the other. But yeah, the net cost to the village will be far below what the actual cost is going to be.
And when do they come for the West Cruise Plan?
No firm date here, Your Worship. I was talking to Katrin from Urban Systems last week. We were talking about that plan. She just wanted to confirm a few of the details that you guys were requesting from the last meeting. And we also talked about the boundary extension, but didn't set a date for either of those.
Your Worship, may I ask a question about the Bruce Park? So my understanding is when you drive by it, you can actually see it, it's being flooded, right? Is that gonna cause a problem for the seating that was done? Because it looks like it's gonna be, there could be something going on there. Because the ground is gonna be,
It looks flooded now.
It's groundwater on it.
is it?
Yeah, it's surface
Yeah.
It's not
water.
gonna,
It's not from the river, it's
No.
groundwater.
No,
okay.
That
It's
was-
quite-
Yeah.
yeah, that would just be pooling water. I've driven by it a couple of times. Blair actually went in there
Okay,
and took a look. Part of the plan with the summer students is we're gonna send them in there and then pick up all of the sticks on the ground because the excavation process was pretty mechanical with big machinery. And when we were looking at it in the fall, we were worried that some of the, there's still decent sized sticks in there and it might, damage the lawn mowing equipment. So we're gonna send them in there and clean all that stuff up.
Do we not have a sweeper? We have a lawn sweeper?
Not to my knowledge, Your Worship. And that's something that's probably better done by hand anyways and sort of a
Picking roots and rocks?
search pattern, like you see on the TV when police are, that's kind of.
But then
what
once
they
the
do.
grass is growing, if you go in there with the sweeper, you can just sweep it up, right, into a sweeper.
Oh, once the grass is growing,
Yeah.
yeah,
You just have
maybe.
to stay away from there, you know?
It's gonna take some time for that grass to properly take into that sandy soil. And so part B of that plan was looking at the terrain. I was hoping that the snowpack and then the subsequent melt would have leveled it off a little bit more. It still does this from the bulldozer tracks. So we're looking at renting a roller packer. And once the sticks are all picked up, we're gonna rent a roller packer probably for 4 or 5 days, whatever it takes. We're gonna roller pack the areas where we're likely gonna be driving over and mowing. That should help the grass too, because it'll give it a nice firm base to stick to, so.
Yeah, because they cultivated it or whatever they did, when they had a machine.
They had the machine and then they basically backbladed it with a bulldozer to get it kinda level. But the bulldozer had big industrial lugs on the tracks, so everywhere that the tracks went over, it ended up kinda like a knuckle. So it's not, I was hoping that just the snow and then the melt would kind of level itself off a little bit, like a beach after the tides, but that didn't quite happen, so just because we're worried that if we leave it like that and the grass sets into it well and it solidifies that way, it could be bumpy for the mower and not a nice surface for people to play on, so I know Rentco outside of Dawson has one of those roller packers, so we're just gonna look at doing that before it goes too far. The hope is still that the announcement could get made at Canada Day that, that we're opening the park, but it's gonna be touch and go.
Should we maybe put some fertilizer or something down on that?
Yeah.
So that'll help it grow,
Potentially, Your Worship, I know
since it's wet?
that soil, whatever soil comp is that sandy, silty stuff that's in there, and the weeds just took off in that soil last year. Maybe I can speak to try to find somebody that knows turf and.
My brother-in-law is actually a soil expert
Ah.
and spraying seed.
Okay,
So,
Land.
yeah, that's all he does.
So we have his number, Colleen, so you can give him a call?
yeah, okay.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be good to know. If we roll the packet and it still packs down nicely, we might not have to wait for the grass to fully come back. People could still kind of go there and start to use it a little bit, but it's gonna be a little bit touch and go. You know, we're kind of at the mercy of Mother Nature here for this one now. The work we've done is done, and we just gotta wait for it to be ready for the publication.
Does this look like this is gonna happen every year? The water and that, or after we get it packed down? Like,
Hard to
The
say,
river's
Councillor Smith.
not causing the issue right now.
no, it's not the water.
It's the groundwater. I mean, big snowpack this year for sure. There's pooling, the park previously had wet areas too. I remember even, like this spring of 2017 there, it was, it was wet too. I don't know. I know that the geologists and the engineers that went to look at the site after the flood event were all convinced it's gonna flood again. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. But yeah, to minimize that, we're talking an open field, we'd have to really look at a drainage plan and then slope it and so.
Well, it's
and-
so low compared to the highway, right? So
Yeah, and everything that comes off of that bank from the highway runs into it, and there is a certain amount of snow that's piled at the gate even by CRS, I think, as they clean the highway and that little exit and stuff there, so it's yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So it's gonna happen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just had a question in regards to washroom facilities. People have been asking me what are we gonna do with that for the park?
Yeah, the plan initially is to get some porta potties out there, and so just the removable ones, and then if that seems to work well, we might look at building some longer term outhouses or something to that effect. But yeah, porta potties for the open season, that would be perfect.
So is anybody else seeing that? Okay, so let's move on to calendars.
What is RCLC meeting?
It is BC Highway. I have a meeting tomorrow.
Well, that's
Library?
for library.
I have a meeting on the 10th for the museum. It's an informal meeting. We'll just prep for the 12th for the grand meeting. And then my next meeting is May 31st.
I have a meeting on the 25th with the Northern Trails, and it's in Dawson Creek, so there'll be no charge to the village for that one.
And the new girl from the museum will be attending that also.
Oh, okay. We have someone new in the museum now?
Jamie
Yes.
Suchi. Jamie Suchi.
Oh, really?
Yes, she's been good.
Les is not.
Les is there
He's
too.
also?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What's your name, please?
Jamie Suchi. Suchi.
Okay, thank you.
I thought it was Suchi, but very nice lady.
I'll introduce her. Thank you.
Anybody see in house in June?
Chamber luncheon on the 11th, hope I'm back, I'd like to attend that.
Oh, I told you we'd be back.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Because we have to be back for the 12th.
Oh, Chamber of Commerce is going to have a day, local whatever, they are sending their feelers out to see what everybody thinks about it. They would like mayor and council to wear t-shirts and get businesses to park. Yeah,
Just,
okay,
You guys didn't discuss it.
no. But,
So they
and
want
they
to
haven't set a date, they're just, I think, could I make a motion that the Village of Coos would like to participate when they want people to express if you're interested?
So we're going to have some correspondence?
Yeah.
What pages are on that?
It's gonna be your information stuff.
Yeah.
I believe page 82,
It's 9.10.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, there we go.
Unfortunately, the picture of the design did not print, but, yeah, I need to know if you guys want to participate in
Well, we
this.
need to actually see the logo,
See the what?
the logo.
I think we-
That would just be the chamber logo you were.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
it's a
chamber.
special shirt they're doing.
Oh, I see.
Special, I can print it quickly if you want.
If you can see it.
Oh, you should do that, definitely.
From me, yeah.
Mhm.
I know what chances we're going to support it.
Yeah, that's- Sure.
Definitely. All in favor? Never mind her Sandy. We all agreed.
You don't want to see the picture?
Well, we do.
It's irrelevant, because there's nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I just don't think so. Okay, so we're all, the calendars are done.
Who's in
Oh,
order?
I'll print it and I'll get it after
Counselor Evans, do you have a report?
I just want to ask if we're doing a community cleanup this year. I haven't heard anything. We usually have a donation to the school or Legion or Rangers or something like that, and I haven't heard us talk about that at all. So,
I haven't heard anything either from the school, your worship.
but we usually offer the money to different organizations and we give a day to do.
Isn't it? Usually around that. time.
Dawson's having theirs on the 12th.
So when's the long weekend? Long weekend is the 18th, 19th, 20th, so, that's to get the organizations out to be doing it.
Maybe too soon.
Yeah, so,
And it's still quite, we have a lot of snow yet.
It's, yeah, and we've had the summer students out doing garbage cleanup pretty much from day one for at least 2 of them, so.
I don't know, the school I know goes around the school and that area and then the
And
rangers and
highways.
stuff do different, so whatever. I think it's a good thing and it gets the different communities involved and
but should we vote on something, like, because they get a donation from us when they do it, right?
Yes, and it goes to the parent.
I thought we had $1,000 that we offered and then whatever community groups together could go, and take, you know, part of that money is what I think we used to do.
Okay, well, we can do that again if everybody agrees, right? So all in favor?
Motion?
I make a motion that we put $1,000 out for whatever community groups want to help in a community cleanup, and we'll have to pick a date.
I'll second.
Which will include the Pursuit Elementary.
Yeah.
If
School.
they
Yeah,
want
oh,
to.
yeah, that's right, the invite
Yeah.
to join.
All in favor?
Do we want to pick a day?
Should we do it in June when it's first week of June, first week of June?
I think they did have the community cleanup today.
No, we just did 2 miles.
2 miles of garbage pickup in the ditch. Spent 4 hours out here on our back road.
But we do that we've been doing that for 30 years, so just where we walk. That's all.
It's sad, eh? People driving down the road.
Well, yeah, I don't like walking and seeing garbage, so.
Well, thank you very much for doing that.
Oh,
We appreciate it. So do you think the first week of June?
I think we would have to wait to see what community groups are interested in.
And when they can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have to leave that to Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Councilor Rose. We may not have to sort of box it into a date either if we've got an open-ended offer to various community groups, whatever day
That's
works
true.
for them.
That's true.
They can come in and do it, and we can offer that donation, and then that way, that might actually make it a little bit better if it fits their schedule as opposed to just arbitrarily picking a day.
They just didn't have to work with Public Works for the village.
Yeah, we could have one of the summer students supervise them or get Blair to give them an area. Or I'll speak to Blair and see what areas need to be cleaned up and what work is out there, but maybe some of the alleys and stuff too.
Okay.
Okay, I'll let you guys know by email on the details for that.
Okay, anything else, Colleen? No, that's it. Counselor Johnston?
No, I did attend the museum meeting, most of the discussion, of course, is for the grand opening on the 12th, and Ireland was 2 weeks, and so I guess that's all taken care of, and that's all I got.
Counselor Smith?
I think I had a chamber meeting last, that I attended. I would like to propose, our seniors are in crisis right now. I mean, big time. They are going to the hospital, they're sending them home. Some family members have made arrangements for them to come in and do their laundry, give them a shower, bring in some food. They call in sick. One lady never had a shower for 2 weeks. They don't let them know. They only come in and fed her one day, so then she gets sick, has to go back to the hospital. Like, they're falling through the cracks. You know, we need to have more options for seniors trying to stay at home. And then we panic when they get to the hospital and they take a bed. Like, I would like to be a voice at UBSM and LCGA, that we voice our concerns, because it's unacceptable.
When they cut that program out, CISO program, we used to have one. And they don't have any. Go ahead.
Who's the caretaker of this facility too? Because I've heard about 2 people there that don't have fridges that don't work. And,
There's a board, are you talking about Charlie Mills?
yeah.
Okay,
Because
Bart Frost and Carol from
Bart
the,
Frost is the one
There's 2
that,
people that have no fridges, and I guess they've been trying to tank and fridge that small containers fridge someday. So it's just terrible. Can't get their food boxes. Nice.
but I think we should band together and get loud and,
Home support is not helping these people?
no, like,
Well-
really, they fall through,
Like,
like,
would that not be part of the health?
Northern Health.
Yeah, that's Northern Health, so
We should
what the
discuss this
mayors
at,
are talking to
Northern
Northern Health, that
Yes.
should be part of it, and that should be voiced in that.
but she went through all the plans. She came up from Medicine Hat for a month, went through all the plans, was meticulous on when the meals would come, when they would come to her laundry, when they would come clean her house, showers. And as soon as she left, you know, they don't show up. They show up for food one day this week and no shower for 2 weeks. Like,
'Cause they don't have-
they've called in sick. They don't realize that they've got to have a backup plan. These people are left. And it's fine because this person has a voice, a family member. There's lots of people out there that don't have family members. You know what I mean? And they just wait till they get sick, and then they get to the hospital and take a bed up, or they're in the emergency aisle. You know what I mean? It's totally unacceptable.
Do we have meetings planned with Northern Health for,
Yeah.
so you could bring this up?
Yeah.
Okay, because I could actually put on a piece of your regional district if you want. 'cause we're
Yes,
doing these things.
yes, yes,
And so I'll bring that to their attention tomorrow. Okay.
yes.
And ask them how come they don't have CISO program for seniors, why do they just have it for the disabled? Because they used to have the CISO program.
Okay.
Counselor Watt.
So I did attend the Papa Don Pizza Crate grand opening for Ribbon Cutting ceremony, but I couldn't stay because I was fasting and I had a medical appointment the next day at the hospital, but I couldn't fast. So I gave my apologies to Don and I said I'd come and taste this good pizza another time. It was good, eh?
It's
Okay. That's what I hear. I've actually had somebody even tell me out of the blue, says, have you had that pizza boost? It's really good. So it's awesome. I'm attending tomorrow the May 3rd, PRD meeting in Salto First Nations at Poultry Lake. And also I'll be here Friday for the special council meeting. I did attend previously the PRD on April 26th, so I jumped out on this. And I'll be at the Fort Nelson for the NCTLG from 6 to 11. And May 16th, I plan to attend the South Sea RCA Fort St. John to do a BC hiring. That's my report.
And Mayor McKinney has no report. I don't know where I was. It's been a busy month. And this month is gonna be very busy for me, so. I don't remember, sorry.
My son, you can tell me.
So, there's no one camera. So,
Motion to adjourn?